Hi, everybody. Hello. Sorry about that. I'm trying to get my phone for this very fun and special live stream episode. Let me just grab this here. Hope everybody's having a good night. I have my new thermos. Um, I have a bad habit of breaking thermoses, and yeah, I ordered these for $10. I got two of them, and I'm excited to take them to work and stuff. Just getting this posted a couple more places, so we can see about getting some more people in here, because this is actually a really important episode for me. So yeah, just a couple more minutes. Hope everyone had a good Friday, a good April Fool's Day, and maybe did some good. I've never really been one to get into pranks and stuff. Um, so I don't know. It just was never my thing. I have enough stuff. So instead of doing an unboxing video for this, because this is not a piece of gear, this is something just as important though. I do a lot of shopping on Reverb, Craigslist, Facebook Marketplace, sometimes Macari, but not. It's been a while. Guitar Center, Sweetwater, anywhere you can think of. Most of the time, I'm on the hunt for gear, but every once in a while, I find something like my new thermos or this, or I've got a cool little sign above my stove that's next to my coffee pot. It says coffee bar. So I don't know. It was like $4 or $5, and it had like this cool wood frame. So I was like, heck yeah, why not? And just giving it another minute or two, minute or so. But yeah. But in my travels on the web for different gear, because I'm always looking for new gear. I actually would like to start building a pedal collection. I've got this bookshelf that I'm gonna build to put pedals on. It's not a huge one, probably like half the size of that, just so I can have something, and it'd be a cool little ornament to my room. So yeah, so I'm gonna open this because I thought this would be cool to do on the live stream, and then just immediately talk about it instead of doing like an unboxing video. I meant to do a Friday night live stream anyway, and I was really busy today, so I didn't really have time to film. So maybe Sunday I'll do some of that. I have a video coming out on Monday that I'm kind of excited for people to see. But this just happened to pop up on Facebook Marketplace, and it was not expensive. No stickers? That's okay. Packed pretty decently though. And this is actually even more important now, because I bought this before a recent tragedy kind of struck. That I haven't really addressed or talked about. So this is the most important CD of my life. This is the very, very first Nirvana CD I ever received when I was 12. I think 12 or 11, something like that. My stepmom bought me this CD for Christmas one year, and I had never really I listened to like the Beatles and a lot of Beach Boys growing up, stuff like that. more like 50s and 60s style of music. Just growing up with my grandparents, they had a different style of music, so it's what I listened to, is what they listened to. And when my stepmom bought me this, it changed my life forever. Because of this CD, I do what I do. Because of this CD, I play guitar. This is a Nirvana CD, and it's a greatest hits. It's nothing special. It's not super rare or anything. It's just a blacked out Nirvana CD with a silver label. And for greatest hits, it's got, I think, a song almost ever off of every album, but I could be wrong. We've got, You're Right for track 1. Track 2 is About a Girl. 3 is Been a Sun for Sliver. I keep wanting to say Silver. 5 is Smells Like Teen Spirit. 6 is Come As You Are. 7 is Lithium. 8 is In Bloom. 9 is in Heart Shaped Box. 10 is Penny Royalty. 11 is Rape Me. 12 is Dumb. 13 is All Apologies. And 14 is The Man Who Sold the World. So yeah, it's at least one song off of every album, with a couple of, off certain albums. Man. It takes me back. Like, I hope it's in good shape. I actually didn't get a chance to look at it. Oh yeah, cool. Not a scratch on this bad boy. Oh, maybe like one scratch. So I'll have to test this out downstairs, but this CD, it means the world to me. I don't listen to Nirvana that much anymore. Not for any particular reason. Just as a musician, we grow, and like Nirvana is the band that got me started on my music. My first tattoo is a Nirvana tattoo. It's the band that has helped shape me who I am today, along with Green Day. I mean, that's the total idea of Jack Punkington is ironically a play on Saint Jimmy from the American Idiot album. Jack Punkington as a identity is based off a character I made in high school named Saint Jack, who was the son of Saint Jimmy and who wanted to continue on after his dad killed himself. Because if you listen to the album, it's a concept album about Saint Jimmy, and that's how the album kind of ends. But I don't know. It also talks about like his mom and stuff. So, but yeah, Nirvana is what got me into music. Green Day is kind of what shaped me. I remember going through this pamphlet for other just stuff, but I remember when this came out, or when I got the CD, I fell in love with Nirvana. I fell in love with their music. The first song I actually heard was In Bloom. I don't know why. I went to track 8. I just said, let's pick a random track, and that was track 8. And as soon as I heard that guitar riff, I said, I want to do this. I want to be a guitar player. I want to make music because I want that. Just going through these, like, I mean, this talks about different stuff, like different different stuff about the band and the unfortunate about Kurt's death and different shows and stuff, and like who recorded what. I bought this before the unfortunate untimely death of Taylor Hawkins of Foo Fighters. It is another band that's actually really important to me. I have the CD somewhere. I don't have it with me right now. I have the first Foo Fighters CD I ever got was actually a response to this. I received this from my stepmom. My mother then went out and bought a stack of CDs this high for Christmas for me one year, and it had bands like Pearl Jam, Alice in Chains, Stone Temple Pilots, Nirvana, Soundgarden, and Audioslave. Because my mom was like, if you want to get into grunge, I will get you into grunge. She did not pull any punches. And it was like, it was the big hits. It wasn't like, don't get me wrong. Like I said, this CD is very important to me. And like, I will forever thank my stepmom for buying me this when I was a kid. That's why I had to buy it when I saw it. But yeah, she had bought me, my mom had gotten me Nevermind by Nirvana. Um, I think it's just called Stone Temple Pilots. It's their first album. It's either that or it's called Dead and Blooded. She bought me the first Audioslave album. She bought me, I think, Dirt by Alice in Chains. She bought me 10 by Pearl Jam, which I still have. And then I think she bought me Bad Motorfinger by Soundgarden. I'm not sure on that last one. And that's what shaped my music. I mean, for the longest time, you could, like, if I had my friends here from high school with me, they would tell you I was obsessed with this band to an unhealthy degree. For a long time, I was very, very obsessed with being Kurt Cobain, but the younger, like a new Kurt Cobain and stuff. And obviously, everybody does that when they think of who they want to be and when they think of who inspires them. I would actually say for my playing, the biggest inspiration in my playing is actually Zakk Wylde, which I got Blizzard of Oz about a year after I got all those albums from my mom, from my friend Justin. But this is still really important to me. It was $7 too, and I was not gonna turn that down. I've been trying to find this CD ever since I lost my original copy. I own every Nirvana CD that you can. Like, I own all the studio albums. I own a couple live albums. I didn't own this, and this meant a lot to me. So the fact that I own it now means a lot. And I don't know. I wanted to talk about Nirvana. I wanted to talk about just kind of what inspires us to play music. I mean, I've got a picture of Kurt Cobain right here. I mean, this has been following me for a few years. I've had this picture. So, and it's like I said, it's ironic because I don't really listen to Nirvana that much anymore. Every once in a while, I will turn on a bit of In Utero or a bit of Bleach, because Bleach is actually my favorite album. I know that's really weird. It's their demo album. It's very raw. I think that's why I like it so much. It had a lot of creative stuff. Floyd the Barber is a great song. I think it's a really interesting title. It's just an interesting take on like how their music changed, because I like to listen to that. And then I like to listen to In Utero and hear the differences. Um, it's funny. Bleach is my favorite Nirvana album, but my favorite Nirvana song is Frances Farmer Will Have Her Revenge on Seattle, and that's off of In Utero. So I used to be all crazy into this band, and it's funny to look at it now. Really ironic that I didn't get a Smashing Pumpkins CD. Now that I think about it, because I love the Pumpkins. I wouldn't say I'm as obsessed with Billy Corgan as I was with Kurt Cobain. or the Smashing Pumpkins versus Nirvana. Um, but I did kind of base part of my sound off of the Pumpkins, so. But I mean, I have my own sound at this point now with like my orange amp, my TH30. It's it's funny because as someone who idolized Nirvana as a band so much, I gave too much of a crap about the gear I was using as a kid, and I still do to an extent. Like I have taste that I like, but I'm more chilled out about it. Um, yeah, because Kurt would just buy stuff from pawn shops and use whatever he could get his hands on so he could trash it. There's one guitar he had that he would never do anything to, and that was his Jaguar, I think. Um, but all the other ones, he's like, whatever, I don't care. For me, I had to have a Fender and I had to have a Gibson. And I don't have either of those guitars anymore. And that's okay. Um, but it's interesting. I still have a Fender and I still have a Gibson, but I gravitate towards my Adrian Smith Jackson or my Schecter Tempest. But I still like. I actually let me grab it. I was my Les Paul Montana. Um, I would never fetch any sort of pretty penny. It would never. I probably couldn't get what I've. Well, I probably couldn't get what half of what I've gotten into this guitar because I have a lot. Well, maybe not that much, but more than it, more than I could get. And what it was a super easy fix, and it sounds great. And back to actually gets a really nice stoner sound out of it. But I like that I'm comfortable with experimenting now with different types of gear versus when I was younger where it was Gibson and Fender or nothing else. Um, just like when I was a kid, it was Nirvana and a couple other grunge bands, and that was it. I listen to every type of music, and when I say every type of music, I think the only type I don't listen to is polka, and that's only because I don't count Weird Al as actual polka. However, whenever I go on a camping trip every fall, I go on this camping trip to Frankenmuth. Um, there's always a lot of polka there, and I actually enjoy it. it's I mean, it's part of the aesthetic of being there, so I don't mind it. But yeah, I mean, now I listen to country. I love a lot of older rap. I listen to a lot of. I still listen to a lot of punk music, some poppier stuff, a lot of like surf rock stuff. Lately, it's been going back and forth. Um, I've been listening to a soundtrack of a show called Ruby because it's a really good soundtrack. Even though my favorite band is Gemini Syndrome, and they released an album last year. It was really good. I plan to talk about it someday, but that's not today. And I still listen to Nirvana. I still go back to the old favorite every once in a while. It's weird because I was so enthralled with this band. I was so like, this is me. This is who I am. And I look back 10 years now, over 10 years now. I mean, I I wouldn't say I was like super into it until freshman year of high school. sophomore year of high school, probably more. And that would be 13 years, 12 or 13 years now. And I'm like, wow, how much I've like changed, and how much like music has changed for me. Um, I would never, listen to bands like a big one I can think of is I would never listen to Asking Alexandria, which is hilarious because it's my fiance's favorite band. Um, I was a part of that group of people when those type of music came out that it's not good, and that's just patently false. Beartooth is one of my favorites. Um, I like a lot. I mean, I like a lot of Asking Alexandria. Um, I'm just thinking of bands older. Bring Me a Horizon. That was the first band that got me into like metalcore, whatever you want to call it. There was this. I can't find it, and if I find it someday, I would love to share and talk about that. There is a Bring Me the Horizon song, and I don't know what album it's on, and it's just Ollie screaming with a violin or some sort of orchestral track, I think, or maybe like a guitar. And it like when I heard it, it really hit and hit hard, and I was like, "What is this?" And then I found out, all about that type of music, and I mean that's history. That's where that went. Um, you know, it's just crazy. Um, and I still like to go back to my old favorites. I listen to Pearl Jam a lot when I need to be peaceful. When I need to relax, I like to listen to Pearl Jam. They have this concept, at least in the album 10. Um, there's this sound that you can just get out of most Pearl Jam songs. That is very disconnected. It makes you feel disconnected from the world, or at least I feel that way. I can listen to Elderly Woman Behind the Curtain. I don't think that's off of 10. But that song, Better Man, um, Yellow Boat, Yellow Belly, something like that. The last song off of 10. And that solo always takes me away. Um, it's crazy. I listen to Soundgarden if I want to try to be creative, or if I really want to focus on vocals, I will listen to Soundgarden because I think Chris Cornell is one of the greatest singers of all time. I mean, obviously, there's thousands of singers out there. I wouldn't say he's the greatest, but there's no one great person. I think he's one of the greatest. Um, that the day he died actually hit me pretty hard. Um, I was actually jamming out to Audioslave when I found out, and I was working at Arby's. I was living in this house. It's crazy. Um, I'll listen to Alice in Chains when I don't know what to do. And what I mean by that is I did not like Alice in Chains until about 3 or 4 years ago. 3 years ago, probably. I don't know what it was. I wasn't big into metal until after high school. It was not my thing. I thought it was too extreme. It was too fast. I had this friend, and I hope he's doing well. His name's Austin. He last thing I know, he doesn't do it anymore. I think he works for a music shop. He lives in Tennessee. I think he worked for Gibson for quite a while. And now I think he runs a music store, and he's an amazing player. And him and my buddy Chris both got me into metal. Austin was the first one that really introduced me to it, and then Chris kind of like pounded it home. Austin had showed me Metallica and Megadeth pretty much at the same time because I had no idea who they were, and it was just such a different world because I remember I was playing in my high school after school, and I was waiting for a ride or something, and I was just chilling with my acoustic. And Austin comes up to me and he's like, "Can I play?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure, go right ahead." You know. And he grabs it and he starts playing. I think it's Atelier de Monde by Megadeth. And I was like, "Do you know any Green Day?" He's like, "No." And like naming off these bands. He's like, "No, I don't. It's not my style." I'm like, "Well, what are you playing?" And he told me, and I looked it up, and I was like, "Wow, this is interesting." I think this is junior year of high school, and I was like, "This is weird." And we had been in high school or in school with each other since fifth grade, but we never talked until then. Might have even been sophomore year, but I wasn't really into it. I'd say till senior year, and we had spent a lot of time. He would show me bands that were just all craziness for me at the time. Being fully immersed into the grunge scene, thinking that you know, there's no reason to be any heavier. There's no reason to be any crazier. Grunge isn't really that heavy. It's just kind of muddy. Um, I mean, there are certain grunge songs that can be very heavy. That's why Alice in Chains wasn't for me at the time, because it got heavy. But it got Jerry Cantrell's got some tasty legs. He's got some really good guitar riffs that I enjoy quite a bit now. And Lane Staley's voice is amazing, or was amazing. So it's cool to like get into it now, and yeah. Um, me and Austin actually, he got me into old school punk. Like he showed me who the Misfits were, and we actually went and saw them live in Detroit. That was one of the scariest nights of my life. um, but it's just crazy how one one CD can snowball into all of this. If I don't know if I would say I would be a guitar player, because I was still a musician before I played guitar. Guitar is not my first instrument. My first instrument is actually piano, and I can still kind of play. I can't read sheet music anymore, but I know chords. I know where the positions are. I have that pretty well memorized, so I can write a song on piano. I just don't do it that much. I have a nice keyboard. I think it's in my closet. I've got the stand for it over there. Um, and then after that was saxophone, which I actually regret selling. Um, the guitar I traded my saxophone for is on this channel and is one of the worst quality reviews. Like, it was so not worth it, and I wish I still had the saxophone. And I plan to buy an alto again someday, just so I can pick it back up. But then I got into guitar, and that changed my life. Like I said, I think I'd still be a musician. I might have focused more on saxophone music, I think, because I really enjoy it. And I think I would have focused more on jazz and blues. I'm just recently really getting into jazz because I hated it in middle school and high school. And just this last 2 years, I started really appreciating what jazz can do for you and like how interesting it can sound. So maybe I would have gone in that direction. Maybe I would have been a concert pianist. I have no idea. Instead of a YouTuber and a mediocre punk rock player or grunge player or whatever I am. But it all started with this CD and this band. Um, and yeah, so I'll forever be thankful to Kurt, Dave, and Chris, um, for changing my life, for helping like get me to where I am by inspiring me. Like I said, that's why I have a Nirvana tattoo. That's why, I mean, that's there. Um, it's just crazy to think. And the weird thing is, I don't have like I don't have a Kurt Cobain guitar. I've tried to get my hands on one. They're very expensive, And I don't know if I'd ever get one. If I had gotten a good deal on one, maybe someday I would try it. I did get a chance to try the Fender Kurt Cobain Jaguar, and I hated it. I was so mad that I hated it because I love the look, I love the design, and it has DiMarzio Super Distortions in it, and I absolutely hated the sound, like hated how it played. It didn't feel right at all. It was a mess. I would love to get my hands on a Mustang and try it. I've had a Squire Mustang, and that was pretty fun. But I'd like to get an actual Kurt Cobain signature someday. A friend of mine has a Jagstang, which is weird because it was designed by him, but it didn't come out till after he died. So I don't know. I know this has kind of been a weird episode of Coffee Time with Jack. I've been rambling a little bit and just kind of talking about my experience with guitar and how Nirvana has shaped my music experience. I might do that again with Green Day, but it was just such a treat to find this for $7, and not getting it was impossible. Yeah, it's just I don't know. I'm all sentimental right now, and stuff. Actually, the guitars on the channel. I had a Les Paul, a Gibson Les Paul with a Bigsby on it, and one of my favorite songs off of their first album, Bleach, is "School." And the intro is literally, I think, just one note over and over again. But what I would do to get the note is I would grab the Bigsby of the Les Paul, and I would just pretty much dig into it really deep, and it would hit it. It would hit that note, but it was such a weird way to do it, and it would just totally wreck the tuning for the rest of the song. But because it worked, I mean, that was kind of what Nirvana was about. Like, they would wreck their instruments. They didn't care, and it worked so well. Whenever I would play it, I think I only played it in two shows. One was at a coffee shop on Halloween, and then one was at a festival. I can't remember, but I don't know. It's just something I wanted to talk about, and I really wanted to show off the CD and just give you guys a little insight to me as a person. So I appreciate you swinging by for this live stream. Um, I'm probably gonna. I didn't get a chance to record tonight, but I will probably do some recording on Sunday, hopefully, for a few videos. So, and we'll have it posted out this week. We've got a video coming out on Monday. I will give you guys a little sneak preview. It is called "How Good Is a $7 Overdrive?" So, anyway, guys, thanks for stopping by. Jack Punkington signing out. Peace.